Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And I'm back in the studio. It just came off of having a college visit with my daughter, another official visit. And, she enjoyed it. She had a good time. We'll see what happens from there. But, of course, during that time, the Knicks were embarrassed by the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then they did further damage. James Dolan, Steve Mills. I don't know if I should put Scott Perry's name in it or not, but they did further damage by having that stupid press conference. And I really do think, the more that I go back and think about it, I really do feel like it was a stupid press conference, man. There was no need to have that press conference. But anyway, they did, and now the New York Knicks are on full crisis mode, ladies and gentlemen. In full crisis mode. So it is what it is. I do want to let you know that we have the second camera on today. So as soon as people join into the chat, you'll have the chance to go into the video chat while I'm talking, while I'm doing a breakdown or whatever I'm doing. You can go into the chat and check out the video chat. All right. And a little bit later on, as we fill up with people, I'll let you know how you can access the video chat. And I'll put the link in the YouTube chat so that you can check out the second screen if you want to. All right, right now we got Nate the Great. We got Guillermo in the second screen. All right. So before we even get started, let's talk about, and Guillermo, you and Nate can have conversations if you want to, whatever you want to talk about, because I don't have you live right now. I want to talk about this whole thing with Fizdale and Steve Mills and Scott Perry. All right, because it really is, I don't know. We really did think and believe, I did at least, I felt and I believed that this whole entire mockery of the New York Knicks that we put upon ourselves was over with. Obviously, the media is going to continue to mock us. That's just something that the media does. That's what they do. They have fun teasing the Knicks. I get it. Cool. But I thought that we were done putting ourselves out there. Obviously not. Obviously not. I mean, think about it. And I'm going to play some of this video, right? And I know you already seen it. But what was the purpose? That's what I want to know. What was the purpose? What did it accomplish? It didn't accomplish anything. Anything. The only thing that it accomplished was causing trouble. And then all of a sudden, all these reports come out. ESPN drops a report that Steve Mills has been angling for weeks to get David Fizdale fired. And that this press conference was about basically covering his own ass. And I'm paraphrasing. I'm not even paraphrasing. I'm putting my spin on it, okay? But basically, that's what the article said. Fizdale's in there. I mean, not Fizdale. Steve Mills is in there covering his own ass and pushing the blame over to Coach Fizdale for this 2-8 start. And then something else comes out from Frank Isola in The Athletic that James Dolan is interested in Masai Ujiri, all right, this summer. Whatever, man. And then, of course, there's other things. There's pictures that come out with Coach Fizdale, Steve Mills, Scott Perry talking and smiling and all this kind of stuff. Who knows what it is, but let's take a listen to Coach Fizdale, see what Coach Fizdale has to say about this entire thing. And then, of course, he's also going to comment on the Knicks trip to Chicago. Right? Because, Coach Fizdale. Now, here's the thing. We already know Coach Fizdale is going to be Coach Fizdale. Right? He's going to put a positive spin on it. That's how Coach Fizdale rolls. That's how he rocks. Okay? So we know that already. We know that already. And by the way, man, big shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. All right. Look, the Knicks are in crisis, so we're going to talk about the Knicks being in crisis, but I promise you, we're going to break down the Knicks and the Bulls. I promise you that. All right. I'm not going to spend all day talking about Coach Fizdale and the possibility of him being fired. I know that, listen, that's the big thing right now, right? That's what's in the news. That's what's everywhere. But the Knicks have a game tomorrow. And all of this is coming on the heels of the Knicks game versus the Chicago Bulls. So, yes, we're going to talk about it all because we're going to see how the Knicks respond. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is how things go in the world of the New York Knicks. Let's take a listen to Coach Fizdale. Like I said, for those who are on a computer or laptop, and we don't have many people in the video chat yet, but we will. Right? You can access the video chat and listen to the video chat if you're getting bored with anything that I'm saying. All right, but let's listen to Coach Fizdale right now and get this thing rolling, man. This is Coach David Fizdale.
There was a report Steve Mills is laying the groundwork for coaching.
I haven't seen anything like that, and I'm not feeling that at all. I thought they've been very supportive to me.
Now, I'm going to stop that right there because what was just asked, I know it's kind of low, what they asked and what they said, and it sounded like maybe it was Ian Begley. What they said is that a report came out from ESPN that Steve Mills was laying the groundwork to fire David Fizdale, right? And then, of course, that was his answer, that he hasn't seen or heard anything about it. Which I don't believe, but anyway.
So you've got no zero indication?
No.
What was the mood today, practice?
We own it. That's what our guys do. Like I said, this group has character. We watched the film. Guys stepped up and owned their part in it and came in and got a good short practice in.
David, in what ways do you feel supported?
Just the fact that we talk every day. We're in constant communication with each other. We're very raw with each other, good or bad. None of us have an ego about it. We're all on the same page of where we're trying to get to. And at the end of the day, we're all in this together.
Have you gotten any assurances?
I got a 2.5-year contract. That's my insurance. That's our business. The insurance is about that I have a contract.
What has to happen in your mind to turn things around with the ball club?
Consistency. We just, we do things in spurts right now, and I just like to see us put together complete games because when we do, we look pretty dang good.
Are you equipped, David, with the roster that can establish that kind of consistency?
I don't know what that roster looks like at all for any team. I think it's just a matter of building habits with who you have and, getting the guys to really trust in what they're doing day in, day out and really executing that.
You have to have more consistency at the point guard position.
Well, I thought, Frank has been pretty consistent for the last, 4 games or whatever. But obviously, our point guard situation has been banged up. Obviously, Dennis has had some, personal tragedy. And, I had to play a rookie there that's a natural too. And so that's been tough on, trying to establish a good flow offensively every single night. But it's also, where I see things that may, look like adversity, I look at that as a way for us to grow.
Anything new on Peyton or Dennis?
Dennis is a possibility in the next game, which is going to be a welcome sight. Elford is still going to be out for a little bit.
It's clear that the front office, and maybe you two are looking at this in 10-game increments. Is there a goal for these next 10 games that you want to accomplish or that they want to accomplish?
I want to go 10-0.
Possible?
Hey, anything is possible, but that's how I look at it. I take it one at a time, but we're trying to win every game.
Do you expect to change anything with lineups or rotation that bad over the next few games?
No, not the next one for sure.
Because they said, last night that they how do you get these where they're playing, they're not getting too down if they get and you're game level?
Just trying to, constantly show it to them on the film, and come in here and work on the things that are creating those moments in the game. And just constantly preaching to them that, as much scrutiny it is on top of this team, they don't call it working basketball. It's called playing basketball. And I got to keep them in that mindset of we're playing a game and you got to have fun and enjoy it and compete at it.
What did it mean to you last night to hear Steve support you in the way he did?
It was great. It was great. And, like I said, I didn't need them to do that to feel that, and as the head coach, I think you guys see that's been around me long enough. I own my own crap, and this team is my responsibility. And if they're not playing up to that level, I take full responsibility for that.
Do you feel pressure this morning more than you did yesterday because of those comments?
No, no one puts more pressure on me than me, and so that's how I view the coaching. The coaching profession is a volatile profession, so. Getting into this, I already know what the pressures are and what urgency means and getting your team to play. That's it, guys. No, I'm just kidding. But getting your team to play well. And so, there's nothing that can put added pressure on me more than I put on myself.
Is the key or the challenge to get them to play well early so they can get their confidence going?
Yeah, you always want to get off to good starts. And we did not do that last game. I thought we got off to a heck of a start in Dallas. Which gave us a chance to win that game. And so we're really stressing that to the guys. Marcus Morris talked about it at length today with the team and really took the ownership on himself. He was like, I'm as responsible as anybody that, we got to get off to good starts.
Coach, the last thing from Steve, from Scott, seemed to be that, hey, we're all sharing responsibility in this thing. We're all in this together. But then that report this morning suggested otherwise. Is that like how you feel? Where things are in it, that it's all you guys are in.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we're battling together, man. We all came into this thing with the same goal in mind, with the same expectations of each other and the team, and it's gonna be moments that it's not going a certain way, but today we came back together and we sat down and met again and talked about things that we can get better at and things that we're doing well. And hopefully we can get better from there.
You said you met you met with the front office this morning?
Yeah, like every day. That's an everyday thing for us. We talk every single day, and it's not set meetings. We're a tight knit group, and we just spend a lot of time together.
Right? Coach, do you feel this roster is presently constituted can rise up?
Yeah, I think any roster can. I just believe that. There's teams in this league that may not have a so-called superstar, and it's been through the beginning of time. And I think about my old guys down in Miami, who started off 11-30 one year and finished the season 30-11. I don't know if we can do something like that, and I don't know if we'll end up in 11-30. But I just know that if you stay with your habits and you keep working hard together, good things can happen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that was Coach David Fizdale and his response to everything that's been happening surrounding him and Scott Perry and Steve Mills and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I do not believe that David Fizdale is going to be fired. All right? Not right now, at least. Not right now. But I do believe that the interview was I don't know how to explain it, but it was maybe a warning shot to David Fizdale. Now, if they talk every day, they talk every day, right? Or maybe it was a warning shot because it seems as though, as I read and look at things a little bit further, it seems as though James Dolan had a meeting with Scott Perry and Steve Mills and was like, hey, you need to have a press conference, right? So now maybe it is the entire office, the entire front office, Scott Perry, Steve Mills, and David Fizdale who are in trouble, and not just David Fizdale. Or not in trouble, but where James Dolan is looking and saying, hey, we don't start winning some games or showing whatever you said that we were going to begin to show then I'm going to do something about it. I don't know. What I do know is that it doesn't make it any easier for the Knicks to play, right? Because like someone said last night when we were discussing this whole situation, you never want the boss to come out of the office, right? You want the boss to stay in the office, take their phone calls, do whatever they got to do in the office, and come out when there's some good news, right? Come out when he's bought lunch for everybody or she bought lunch for everybody, right? Come out when she has bonuses for everybody. That's when you want the boss to come out. You don't want the boss to come out and have to make a speech about how things need to change and they're not happy about the direction and the way things are going. So obviously, there's an issue there. There's something somewhere. I don't know. But it's, I really don't think, it just wasn't necessary. Wasn't necessary, not one bit. There's no need. There was just no need for it. You know what I mean? It's something, if you needed to send a message to Fizdale, they could have did that in the office. They didn't have to come out publicly. Maybe it was a message to, maybe there's a message to the players. I don't know. But it was unnecessary and uncalled for, right? I'm going to talk to these guys in the video chat. After I talk to these guys in the video chat, we're going to go ahead and get to a couple other interviews. We're going to listen to RJ Barrett. We'll listen to Taj Gibson. I'm sure they'll have their thoughts about everything. You know what I'm saying? So let me get to these guys real quick. Nate, I'm coming to you first, my brother. Hold up. Let me get you unmuted. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, man, this is very perplexing to me because my thing is, if you are supportive of your coach, why take this out of the locker room? Why start a fire when you don't need to? And that's what they're doing. They're starting up something, and now everybody's buying into. You're hearing all these rumors and all these stuff now. Now it's becoming a bigger fire. And
Right.
I don't see how they're going to put this thing out. It's going to mess up the morale of the players. The coach is probably going to coach more tight now. He might seem lax right now, but I mean, if he wants to keep his job, anybody who's been threatened with their job in a very subliminal type of way, they're going to be on eggshells. So I don't know what we're going to see as far as changes. I mean, he did say we're not going to see anything against the Bulls, but he didn't say, well, I'm happy going forward with what we have. So it tells me that after this Bulls game, there might be some changes to the lineup. I don't know what it's going to entail.
How many more changes to the lineup can he do? I mean,
I know, but he didn't close the door on that,
Right. I mean, besides removing Julius Randle or Marcus Morris, right? You've already had the only other person that hasn't come out the starting lineup. Okay, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Marcus Morris. Those guys have not come out the starting lineup. Of course, the point guard situation is never ending story for the Knicks. And then you got the center situation. Mitchell Robinson came out the starting lineup. Then he got hurt. Well, he came out the starting lineup, went back in the starting lineup. Then he got hurt. So now Taj Gibson is in the starting lineup, right? I don't know how many more starting lineups you're going to be able to, what else you're going to do.
It's like
besides taking out either Marcus Morris or Julius Randle.
Yeah, it's like rearranging chairs on the Titanic, man. It's going to be nearly impossible to try to find, the change. It has to do with heart and effort and energy, and sometimes you can't coach that. You have to have that in your players. Yeah. But the thing about with Fizdale that I'm starting to concern me about it is, instead of him deflecting this and just saying, you know what, we have a good relationship and move on. Let's move on to the Bulls. He gave a real detailed description of the relationship between him and all that, which, I mean, I get he's trying to be real, but man, you don't have to say all that stuff. Better. I mean, if you got a good relationship, you don't have to explain yourself. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I understand what you're saying.
You know,
I
and I
definitely
just
understand
feel
what you're
I
saying.
feel like he opened more doors for other stuff. Like, are you going to change the lineup up? Well, we're not going to do it against the Bulls, but you didn't say I'm happy with the lineup now. You know, you talked about the relationship. Well, we're raw. What the hell does that mean? I mean, I
So
mean, do
so
we is
what would you have expected him to say?
I would honestly, I would have taken like a Greg Popovich type of mentality. I mean, no, he's never been in that situation, but like, hey, you know, we have a good relationship. We talk every day. Let's move on to the Bulls. You know, like he doesn't have to explain himself, Sim. And I feel like that's the problem with Fizdale is he feels like he has to explain himself and justify himself all the time. And usually when that happens, it can open up doors for other things. And I just felt like, dude, he didn't have to say all that. If you're solid with your relationship with your GM and your president, hey, I'm solid. We're good. Moving on to the Bulls. Most
Okay.
coaches will not take 10 to 15 minutes talking about their job status. They would just say, you know what? Whatever it is, that's what it is. I'm moving on. We're moving on to the Bulls. I don't know.
All right. All right.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I
Maybe
understand. I
Fizdale's just a different
understand
type of
what you're saying.
coach.
I understand what you're saying. I get it. I get it. You know, but you know, we are in the age. We are in the social media age where everybody posts their status, the status of their relationship, and everything that's going on in their life. They plaster it all over Facebook and Twitter and everything else. It's kind of our age, man. That's kind of where we are. Although Coach Fizdale is a little bit older, and you know, but I think he's kind of one of those guys that speaks off the cuff. You know what I mean? I mean, he didn't say anything too disparaging, so you know, he didn't say anything disparaging. I'll say that. Guillermo, what do you
Yo,
think, man, about this whole situation? Do you think that Steve Mills is angling to fire Coach Fizdale?
yeah. I mean, Steve Mills is like Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, right? He's Dolan's plant. He's not going to go anywhere. Um, and he was always basically the GM. Perry is the mind between, with regards to all the scouting, all the uh play acquisition stuff like that. But Steve Mills is basically the face, right? And let's be honest, I think that Steve Mills speaks for Dolan, and Dolan has been, and I think in some ways justified be so kind of upset and patient because he just sees no progress with this coach. But you remember again, he brought in Mike Miller, who I think Ross said it yesterday was a Dolan, was a Steve Mills guy. Now you're hearing reports of them trying to bring in Usai Majiri. I think that's kind of, those just rumors. But a guy like Steve Mills, and then you come out, Sim. We've seen it in football. Like I said, man, you've seen it in football where the GM, if the GM wants to get rid of a coach, they become more uh, uh, um they become more vocal, right? They say, "Oh, we're unhappy, blase, blase, blase." They start to distance themselves away from the coach, and I think that's what Mills is doing right now, because he came out before even Fizdale spoke to the media. And the way that Fizdale spoke, he's like, when they said, basically, what leverage do you think you have regards to staying here? He didn't speak about track record. He didn't speak about the player development. He didn't speak about anything really nuanced, right? He said, oh, I have a contract. And when you say something like that, that means that you've been probably told, hey, the road is about to come near unless you get some wins and we see some development from these guys. So I just think that, yeah, like Mills is, he's already planting the seeds, man, to get Fizdale out of here. You bring in Mike Miller, and again, for a guy that's got to the finals last year or 2 years ago with the G League team, we really haven't really heard anything from Mike Miller, right? I haven't heard really much from Mike Miller, even though he's on the coaching staff. And many times, especially in football, when they want to get rid of a coach, if he's on his last legs, in the offseason, they bring in a coach, or they bring in coaches who could probably be an interim coach if they fire him, or a guy they see long term. And I haven't heard Mike Fizdale really talk about Mike Miller at all, even though we've heard glowing things about Mike Miller in the G League. So that speaks volumes, man, when they start putting little assistant coaches here and there into your coaching staff, because every coach wants to have their coaching staff. They don't like if you come in here and pick and prod and you put your people in. Once you do that, you're basically setting the seeds to be like, hey, unless we see some drastic development, we got somebody to replace you. So
well, was it the front office? Was it Scott Perry and Steve Mills who brought in Mike Miller, or do you think Fizdale said, "Hey, I can value
I'm
this
just
guy"?
saying, Sam, I don't know, but I haven't heard anything from Mike Miller, and I don't. It doesn't seem, in regards to what Mike Miller did last few years, man. he's developing some of those guys. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's a great player, but when I saw Luke Cornett in the G League, he did look good in terms of a guy who could shoot the ball to three, stuff like that. Blasey. I think he was there with Trey Burke. If I'm wrong, please forgive me.
I think
But if he was there with
yeah.
Trey Burke, Trey Burke did someone reinvent himself in the G League and kind of came out of that Knicks team a little bit better. So again, I haven't heard much from Mike Miller, and I don't watch the G League enough to know what the system is. But if Mike Miller runs a totally different system, someone in the chat, hopefully you guys could help me out. If Mike Miller runs a totally different system in G League than what we've seen from Fizdale, that speaks volumes because we haven't really seen much of the way of anything different from Fizdale this year. And can I say this one time again, Sim? Because last year, me and Isaiah, we were hard pressed on Fizdale not doing the whole tanking thing. And this is the reason why. And this is for Fizdale's sake. Because when they look back, if say Fizdale gets fired after the next 10 games, right? They're not going to look back and say, okay, the first year he was tanking, so let's throw that out the way. They're going to say Fizdale won 17 games his first year. They're going to count that, despite the fact that you saw Fizdale trying to lose games on purpose in on many occasions to help this team tank. So they're going to, again, for Fizdale, they'll leave you out to dry. Once things like this happen, when you're not winning in your second season, they're going to be a lot less impatient for you. So that's why I got mad at Fizdale. I said you should not tank. Try to build this team as much as possible. And if you get this team to overperform, one, that's even better for your resume. That's better for your numbers, everything, blah. And you're going to have a team that's a lot better prepared. A lot of things that we're trying to do now this year, that should have been done last year. So to me, man, Fizdale, he put himself in a bad situation. I don't think he's a good coach, but again, last year, I think he messed up. And now people are going to look at, hey, he won 17 games versus this guy was helping his organization tank to get a top draft pick.
Yeah, now I get it, man. I definitely get it. Who knows what's going to happen over the next 10 games? And I'm pretty sure that, eyes are going to be everywhere. People are going to be watching. What I hope happens is that the Knicks say no more about it. Let these next 10 games play out. You know what I'm saying? And not continue to bring this up to the spotlight. If a reporter asks a question, deflect it. Say, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the next game. We're talking about this game or whatever it is. Let this thing float away. You know what I mean? That's what I hope happens next. Hold on, Guillermo. Say that again because I had you muted.
I'm sorry, my bad. I was just gonna say that feeds more into the. I'm telling you, and I think these guys are fairly resilient to the media in terms of like not letting the media get to heads, but that feeds into it more, right? I think that you kind of take it head on, right? I think I just wish Mills would just shut up because again, he has an issue with not being able to just shut up. He did the whole free agency thing last time. Just shut up. You know what I mean? Just shut up. If you don't like this guy Fizdale, handle it in the house. Don't embarrass him because then you're gonna make more unattractive for other coaches. Might come and be like, this idiot Mills has been with the team since 2000, and he's gonna embarrass me if I go through a bad spell, even though Fizdale's been here for 2 years. So again, handle it head on. I thought with Fizdale, again, he's a good talker. I thought what he did was fairly excellent. I mean, he did say some telling things. I think the way he went about it was fairly good.
For the most part, I think
in terms of just not letting the media get to it. But you have to, because once you start doing it, then it's like, oh, no comment. I was like, oh, Fizdale might be, And then
but the thing is, they've already addressed it. I mean, what else is there to say? The media will keep asking questions. He's already addressed it. If they ask another question at this point, what else is there to say about it? Besides, there's nothing more to say. I'm not talking about it. He's already addressed it. So I'm saying, from this point on, I wouldn't address it any further and let it float away. People are gonna write, whatever they're gonna write anyway. You know what I mean? Obviously, though, we have a game coming up tomorrow night versus the Chicago Bulls.
Oh crap! Forgot about that.
Yeah, versus the Bulls. The Bulls are 3-7 on the season. The Knicks were 2-8. I think we're last in the league, and that's not the only thing we're last in the league in. All right. How is this entire crisis, this entire situation, going to impact tomorrow night's game? How do you think?
I'll say this, Sim. Again, I always reference football, right? Because I think you see it a lot when coaches in turmoil and stuff. if you see the players,
I think you keep bringing up football.
I
think you keep bringing up football because the Jets beat the Giants. But I think it's just
first
a little.
Of all, Sim,
I think that's just a little subliminal diss, man.
I'm very angry at you guys beat us because
I think
you
Guillermo's
created the
throwing a
delusion
little
that Adam Gase
subliminals
is a
out
good
there.
coach, and our draft spot suffered. So I'm actually really pissed you guys won.
Okay.
I don't know how you let Danny Dimes throw 300 yards, 4 TDs, and y'all still lose, man. Like, come on, bro.
Because we suck. That's why. Because we are some trash.
I didn't want to talk. I can't talk trash. We're 2 and what? 2 and whatever the hell. 2 and 7. What?
Because we are trash.
Anyway,
that's
I'm sorry.
why.
Let me not talk about the awful, stupid Jets. But that's another terrible organization. You Knicks fans don't know what a bad organization until you meet the Jets. But anyway, I'll say this: if these guys come out with their heads on fire, and everybody's showing, hard work, everyone's showing tenacity, everyone's showing that consistent defense, especially a perimeter defense that we see usually in the first quarter or even the first halves of games. If they show that throughout and guys are playing hard and smart, Marcus Morris not trying to be Kobe and then get a whole bunch of texts, I think that speaks volumes to how they see Fizdale. I think that if they do that, then it's like, all right, maybe these guys realize, hey, we've been doing terrible. Fizdale's not the issue. Blah, blah, blah. But if you see these guys just after what happened last game, if you lose is one thing, but if you lose by 30 and then you almost lost close to 20 or whatever it was, and you mail it in, that means, hey, we want to get this guy Fizdale out of here. We are not playing for this coach anymore. Blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. It depends. I can't really call it, but I think if you see any of those two dynamics, then you know how the team really is trying to go right now. At least the players.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna get to a couple of interviews from the players. All right. Well, let me say what's up to Isaiah real quick, and then I'm going to get to some interviews from R.J. Barrett and Todd Gibson, and then we'll start breaking down the game. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Hey, what's going on, Sam? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. And I do want to remind Isaiah, Guillermo, Nate, and everybody else that's in the chat, when I'm doing a breakdown, I want you guys to go ahead and have a conversation, man, so some people can join in on this second screen. Pretty sure we'll get some more people join a little bit later. But, we got the second screen up. So you guys can join in, and tomorrow night after the game, I'm going to have the second screen up again. But go ahead, Isaiah.
Yeah, you know what, Sim? Today's been as far as Knicks, today's been a hectic day. I felt like the media has just been waiting for this day to happen the last 2 years because they haven't had nothing really to talk about besides the Knicks stinking. But now they get a little controversy. Now I see Stephen A. Smith going on his Knick rant, and it's crazy how they I'm looking at the jump. Now they're talking about the Knicks, and even though they didn't mention the Knicks beating the Mavericks, but it's just the media just was waiting for this day to happen. Personally, I'm not mad that Steve Mills and Scott Perry did that because you know what, Sim? David Fizdale was not being a good coach these first 10 games. He really wasn't. I mean, how many times have we said that? I mean, dude didn't start a point guard for 3 games. I mean, he got this player not playing.
But let me ask you this though. But what did it accomplish? Tell me what it accomplished. What did it accomplish by coming out to the media? What did it accomplish that you wouldn't have accomplished if you just spoke to Fizdale in his office? What did it accomplish? Nothing. It didn't accomplish anything except set off a media firestorm. That's it. That's the only thing it accomplished.
Well, Sim, can I say this to go back to football? How many times do owners, and they do it a lot, share their disappointment or share their feelings towards a team?
But that usually happens when there's some place and the media asks them a question. How are you feeling about the season? Well, I'm not happy about being 3-8. Or I'm not happy about being 3-7 or whatever the record is, 2-8, right? They deliberately set up a press conference to say what we already knew. They didn't say anything different. They deliberately set up a press conference to say what we already knew, and it accomplished nothing.
But son, can I say this though? What I feel that okay, yes, they could have said something to David Fizdale personally, but sometimes you got to put the pressure on people. He has not been a good coach. He has not, and they probably said this to him, and they seen no difference. Now I read something that it made sense.
Okay, so but what pressure? But what pressure does What pressure does saying it in the media put on him? What's it do? Only thing it does is cause more turmoil over the team. You know what pressure you put on him? You know what you say? Coach, you got 10 games. If we don't see an improvement in these 10 games, we're going to move in another direction. And you say that if that's what you're thinking, if that's what they're thinking, and that's what your objective is, you don't come out to the media and you want to put pressure on them and make him do whatever you want him to do. You say, Coach, come to my office. He comes in. You say, listen, we're not happy with being 2-8. We think we should have been better. We're not happy with rotations. We're not happy with effort. We're not happy with whatever it is they're not happy with. So if we don't see a change in these next 10 games, then we're going to have another conversation, and that conversation may be about termination. You know what I'm saying? And you leave it at that, but you don't get the media involved. You don't start off this media firestorm for nothing.
But Sam, you don't think so? Wait, Scott Perry and Steve Mills are not dumb. They're not dumb guys. They both went to Harvard, and I'm not saying that they can't be dumb. But
hey, hold on. I'm gonna stop you right there. You said they both went to Harvard. You know, did you pay attention to the news when all these people were paying for SAT scores and all this junk so they can get into these so their kids can get into these prestigious schools? So I don't care if they went to Harvard.
Black men, so don't even try to do that.
It don't matter. I don't care what color they are. It doesn't matter to me that they went to Harvard.
Black men in the 70s, Sam. Come on now.
I don't care. What I'm saying to you, it does not matter to me that they went to Harvard. I don't know. Your phone keeps messing up. What's going on, man? Get it together, man.
But all I'm saying is, Sam, that you don't think they said this to Scott Perry already? You don't think you think they just didn't say this to him before this? I'm not gonna say that they were completely right, but I know they said something to the man before.
Okay, so then tell me the point of going to the media. If they said something before, tell me the point.
I'm saying sometimes you gotta bring the pressure. And maybe they thought this was the best way to bring the pressure on him. Again, he's been probably, besides, I was telling Gimel this, besides the Chicago coach and Luke Walton, he's been the worst coach in the NBA. He has been.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, what power does the media hold over David Fizdale's job?
Hey, I'm just saying maybe they need to lit a fire under him, and maybe this was a message for everybody, the players and him included, that you can't keep doing this. You can't go from having a great game like Dallas to just getting blown out in the Garden twice by two teams that you should at least be competitive in. And like I was saying before, Sam, I honestly wholeheartedly believe if the Knicks were losing, but they had an effort and they're actually, not getting blown out and actually showing that they cared on the court, then Steve Mills and Scott Perry would never done this. But when you can clearly see in 10 games that you got freaking Marcus Morris just playing for his next contract, you got Julius Randle doing, I don't know what the hell he's doing. And then until this day, we still don't know the offense that David Fizdale is trying to run. Then what are we talking about? What are we really talking about when it comes to David Fizdale?
Listen. I understand. You don't have to explain anything to me about David Fizdale. That's not the point. That's not the point here, right? And I'm looking in the YouTube chat. I see some people. B-Ball for real said this isn't about the media. They're speaking to the fans, right? I understand that, right? I definitely understand they're speaking to the fans, but there's a much better way to do it. They could have waited to the next day, and they could have held a phone conference or did another press conference the next day and say, hey, and if you wanted to show solidarity, you could have had Fizdale there and say, listen, we feel like we owe the fans an explanation, and here's the explanation. There's a much better way to do it than, come out at the end of getting blown out, and it's impromptu. I don't know. Emmanuel C. said Dolan sent them out there because the Garden was turning. I mean, that is, maybe it's that, maybe. But if Dolan sent them out there because the Garden was turning, right? If Dolan sent them out there because they, you got the fire Fizdale chance and all that kind of stuff, I would have liked to hear them say something like, listen, We understand your frustration. We're 2-8 on the season. We have expectations to be better. Coach Fizdale has expectations to be better. I promise you, we are working to do this, and this. We are trying to have faith in our coach, in our system, in our players. We're asking you to have faith in our coach, in our system, in our players. You know what I'm saying? As we work through this, and give us something like that. To me, I just heard what I already knew. And it doesn't make me happy. I mean, I get what you guys are saying about it being about it being the fans, right? They owe an explanation to the fans, and they do. They do owe an explanation to us because, like I said, I say it all the time. We buy the hats, we buy the jerseys, we buy the tickets. So they definitely owe an explanation to us. I just think there's a better way. Just make it more thought out, right? Because all they did with the fans now, look at the fans right now, right? They wanted an explanation to the fans. Look at the fans now. Everyone is up in arms and confused. Some people are saying, don't worry about it. Fizdale's not going to be fired, right? Some people are like, oh, this is crazy. Fizdale's going to be fired. Other people are like, man, this is lunatic. I'm done with this team because they're always in crisis mode. It's better ways to do it, man. It's got to be more thought out than just, oh, we're going to have an impromptu meeting after this. It's got to be more thought out than that. Think about what you're doing. Take a day, right? I don't know have you ever heard people tell you, do not make a decision when you're emotional. Because your emotions take control over your thinking. So don't make a decision when you're emotional. Take a day to calm down and think about what it is you want to say and how you're going to say it. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? Just that's all I'm saying. Just think about it. Famos, you say you're not confused. I'm talking about the fan base as a whole, right? People going in a bunch of different directions. Bottom line, people tired of this junk. That's what I'm talking about. People tired of this junk. And it's not about, I'm not saying it's about if the team is winning or losing. Yes, I'm tired of the team losing. But coming out and talking to the media is not changing it. As a matter of fact, it's not changing it. Coming out and saying that is not changing it. Because you come out and say that, it's not going to all of a sudden make you 8-8. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We'll see. You know what I mean? I just think there's better ways to go about it. You got to be smarter. You know what I'm saying? You can do things. You can accomplish the same exact thing in another way. You want to put pressure on Fizz? Put pressure on Fizz the real way. Tell him the next 10 days we don't see an improvement with this team. And I'm not just talking about winning. We don't see an improvement with this team. Then your ass is gone. That'll put pressure on him. That puts pressure on him. Right? That's what does it. Not just, oh yeah, we're unhappy. We're unhappy. They didn't meet our expectations, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day have pictures of you guys sitting there smiling and laughing. And you probably had somebody take that picture to put it out. Right? To shut everybody up. That's not the way to do it. That's just my opinion. I mean, that's just my opinion. Regardless of what the purpose was, I just feel there's a better way to go about the purpose. Not when you're emotional. Not when you're emotional. There's no reason for that last night, in my opinion. Take a listen to RJ Barrett, man. Let's pivot. We're going to pivot right now and start talking about this game. Thank you for the super chat, Armando Chico. You said, do you think Mills is more of a problem than Fizz? Well, I don't know. The only thing I'll say about Mills that is a common that is fact is that he is a common denominator throughout the Knicks losing for years. He and James Dolan are the common denominators. That's the only thing I can really say about Steve Mills. And that's just fact. Get to a phone call, man. Then I'll get to RJ Barrett. Caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Yo, what's good, son? What's up? What's up?
I'm chilling, brother. How you
Brandon.
feeling?
But
What's going on
son,
with you,
I'm
man?
here watching your show. I see you talking about Steve Mills and stuff like that. And all I gotta say about Steve Mills, he gotta go. Really gotta go. Because from he was voted down to the GM or the assistant GM of the team in 2016-15 and made that signing with Tim Hardaway, he fucked up the team.
Oh,
He
watch
the
your
one
language
signed
for me,
Tim
bro.
Hardaway
Watch your language for
contract
me.
For that 4 years, $71 million, and fucked it up. Like,
Hey, my man,
he
watch
needs
your
to go.
language. Watch your language, please. Call me back. You got to watch your language, man. You know, we got to be cool. I get it. I understand you're frustrated. I understand the frustration. You know what I'm saying? You can call back. I didn't mean to hang up on. I did and I didn't. So, you know, but you know, you can call back, bro. Just watch your language. All right. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hello, Simeon. This is Connie. I'm a huge Knicks fan. I have to say about Fizz, I'm very disappointed in his coaching because I feel when we beat the Mavs, we were turning the corner. And there's no excuse for us to lose. Hello?
Hello? Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no excuse for us to lose to a bad team like the Cavs. The Cavs are a terrible team. They're a lottery team. I don't feel like he got us prepared for the game.
Well, I mean, right. Listen, there's no excuse. I mean, bottom line is we did not have we just didn't come out with any kind of energy, any kind of fire. You know what I'm saying? We came out like we didn't care. You know what I mean? And now, you know, we got to play the Bulls and we need to change. We've got to change our entire demeanor, you know, coming out against the Bulls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you. The thing about it, my expectations were realistic to start the season. I didn't expect the Knicks to be a contender, but I thought we would be at least an 8th seed, maybe a 10th seed, but not the bottom of the conference.
Nah, listen, and you know, I didn't even know if the Knicks were going to be in the 8th seed, right? That's cool. I get that. I'm not even mad about that. I just want to see, I got to see the effort. Hopefully, I'd like to see these guys make some shots. You know, we shoot less than 42% from the field. You know what I mean? But when a team comes out with the lack of effort like they did against the Cavs, but this has happened consistently, there's a problem there. You know what I'm saying? That's a problem.
Right. I feel it comes down to coaching, you know, because effort's all about coaching. It's not even about talent. It's about just going out there and trying, and that's what frustrates me because against the Mavericks, we were trying hard. We were playing hard. We were playing, you know, like our life was on the line. But against the Cavs, like that effort was gone. That to me was just disgusting.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Hey, I appreciate the call, man.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a good one. All right, let's get to another phone call. A couple more phone calls, and I'm going to get to this RJ Barrett interview. Caller, you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Sim was good, man. It's worldwide, calling from Long Island.
What's going on with you, bro?
Not much, man. Not much. So here's how I think it went down, right? So I'm sure you saw the tweet. Go ahead.
Yeah, now go ahead.
I'm sure you saw the tweet. I forgot who tweeted it. They said that Dolan and Mills and Perry didn't return to their seats after the halftime. Obviously, They had a discussion, right? I'm sure Dolan was disgusted. And did you see the picture that they took of him last Sunday when they played the Kings? The guy looked dejected. It was absurd. It was a running meme. So him being in the Garden, he had to throw somebody out the Garden. They're saying fire Fizdale, fire Mills, fire Dolan. It's like it's ugly, man. It's only so much you could take. And while I feel like James Dolan, you know how the corporate structure is. James Dolan probably has never addressed this team himself, but he'll issue out the word to management. They'll tell, Mills will pass it on to Perry, and Perry will address the team, or maybe Mills and Perry will address it. So this was all from the top, trickling on down. Right now, I don't think, like in hindsight, like when I saw the press conference last night, I was like, yeah, you got to hold them accountable. But that was off of my emotion. Collecting my thoughts, I don't think it was a good idea mainly because, like you said, the media is now just going to pounce on us, and they was looking for anything that of substance that they can, like, take and run with it, And before they could only say, oh, the Knicks don't know what they're doing, but we were rebuilding, so that really there was no legitimacy to that. Now they can really say that, oh, Mills thought this was a good team, because they're saying the consensus is that all the other GMs are saying that if you thought this team was set out to be competitive, then you're out of your mind. Now, I think that was misinterpreted. I think what Mills and Perry was trying to say was that they're a better team than what they are, meaning if they would have had a record of, let's say, 4 wins and 6 losses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then and then the 6 losses, they were competitive. Maybe they only had 1 blowout, right? I think they would have been satisfied. I don't think that they're looking to make the playoffs. However, they did invest a lot of money in the offseason, 15 for this guy, 10 for this guy, 20 for that guy. And I'm sure it was with Fizdale and saying that, oh, yeah, with this roster, because they all, put their minds together. And he was like, oh, I can get such and such out of this roster. So a lot of people are dictating that, oh, this is the roster that Mills and Perry handed to Fizdale. I think he had a major role in selecting some of the players that they selected and him giving the okay and assuring management that, oh, he could create a system that would be beneficial to these players. Now, when Mills and Perry are standing back and you got Julius Randle running point guard, right? After the 3rd game, that should have been a done deal. And then you got Fizdale saying whatever his coaching philosophy is defense. But you don't play your 2 best defensive players. They get DMPs, Dotson and Frank. Probably cost you a few games because we were competitive. When RJ has regressed, we're only 10 games in. So I do not want to hear that this man is tired. That's nonsense. He's not tired. But that's a narrative that so many people are waiting to jump on. I guarantee you tomorrow he's going to come out and have a good game. And all of a sudden he's not tired. But people are waiting for that narrative, right? When the management is looking at this, they're like, damn, something's wrong, man. Like, they mentioned specifically execution and preparation. And those are definitely problems with coaching, right? And we would be lying to ourselves to say that there hasn't been glaring issues with this man's coaching.
Right.
Now, did they need to bring it to the public? Maybe not necessarily. Probably not. At the same time, it's just at the higher level of holding him and the players accountable. Because I feel like a lot of these players are looking at it like, yo, some of them are like auditioning for other teams. Some of them are lollygagging. Like, have you seen the effort that Bobby Portis put in for that Bulls game in any other game? He was like a man possessed.
Right.
If you have that level in you, then you need to turn up for all the games, or at least most of them. That was literally the only game that he had that sort of energy. Julius Randle is still trying to play point guard. You still have not communicated it to him and fit in a better role for him. And if he refuses to listen to your coaching, then you need to bench him. You're not holding all the players to the same accountabilities. There's huge issues. There's huge issues with this team.
Yeah,
I
feel you, man.
I just feel like perhaps, there was a better way of going about, dealing with these issues. But not, I think they did it in a way to appease a lot of the fans because we were all disgusted. And for them to hold them accountable publicly, kind of initially brought satisfaction to us. But now that the media is getting involved and they're clowning us, I don't even listen to that fool Stephen A. Smith. He's looking and acting like a coon. I'm sorry for my language, but like he's here trying to entertain people by yelling and screaming on the top of his lungs and bringing his voice to high octanes. Like, do whatever you got to do to make
I didn't
money.
even listen. I didn't even hear
I'm
it and
happy.
listen to it, man. I didn't even listen to it. Yeah, I didn't listen to it. But hey, Wes, I'm gonna get to this breakdown of the game. All right. I'm about to pivot and break down this game coming up. So I appreciate the call, bro.
All right, no doubt, man. Take it easy.
Right, peace. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the breakdown of this Knicks game. All right, so we'll start off by listening to RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is one of my key players for tomorrow night. I want to see if RJ Barrett is going to be able to rebound at least offensively. You know what I'm saying? He played a season low 24 minutes in the last game. RJ Barrett did. So let's listen to RJ Barrett, and then we're gonna start to break down. The Knicks versus Bulls tomorrow night. It's RJ Barrett, ladies and gentlemen.
RJ, how frustrating is it right now with this team in terms of wins and losses for you?
I mean, everybody wants to win. Nobody's happy when they lose, but we're good. We're gonna keep working. Like Taj said, just working. Everybody has each other's backs, and we're just gonna come in and play hard.
What kind of support do you have for your coach?
He's great coach. Everybody loves him. I love him personally. Great guy to be around, and we believe in what he has to say, and we just got to go out on the court and do it.
RJ, one of the double-edged swords being a high draft pick is the fact you often go to a team that is after you've been in an organization that has a winning culture. Have you ever had a streak like this before? And so what did you do to kind of deal with it, because you are used to it?
Personally, not really. Outside of one time AAU, but not really. Never really lost. But basketball happens. You lose, and losing is one of the best teachers. So you can only go up from here.
What do you think of the mood was today with the veterans and the message today in practice?
It was good to just hear the veterans talk, hear what they have to say. Just one about our day, one about our business. Clean up a couple of things, got to get a couple of things right, and go on the road.
RJ, how much does this fall on you guys as ball players in terms of the losing at the beginning of the season here?
I mean, we're the ones out there on the court. We're the ones that's out there. We got to go get it done. And no matter what coach says or what kind of plays he puts in, us as the players, we got to go and execute and get the job done.
So what does it take? What do you guys need to do next year?
We've had some really good games. Some real hard-fought games, and we just got to bring that same energy. For every game, really.
All right, that's RJ Barrett, ladies and gentlemen. RJ Barrett, again, like I said, played a season low, 24 minutes in the last game. And of course, there's been a lot of talk about, RJ Barrett and his playing time. If he's playing too many minutes, all this talk about RJ Barrett. I'm not worried. I'm not as worried about the minutes that he's been playing so far this season. It's gonna go up. It's gonna go down. You know what I'm saying? I'm not as worried. There's maybe a little bit of concern about, him getting worn out too soon. But he is a young guy. Like I said, in a couple streams ago, I would go to the court every day and play for hours and hours and hours on end, way more than 37 minutes. He'll be okay. I think he'll be just fine. Let's go ahead and start breaking this game down, ladies and gentlemen. RJ Barrett is going to look to, rebound a little bit tomorrow night. The Knicks are going to look to rebound tomorrow night, play a better game. Get themselves, I don't want to say get their mojo back, because I don't know if they've had any mojo yet this season. But the one thing they got to do is play with pride, and I'm going to talk about it in the keys, man. We got to come out with some pride. All of this stuff going around the team, and, they're all going to say that they have to block it out and focus on certain things, but you're human as well. So internally, there should be some pride. And like Guillermo was saying, if you value Fizdale, you should be out there playing for that man. All right, so let's take a look at the team. Let's break this down, man. The Knicks are 2-8. The Chicago Bulls are 3-7 on the season. And you probably remember that the Knicks came back from down 18 to defeat the Chicago Bulls just a couple of weeks ago. All right, the starters for the Knicks: Frank Ntilikina, RJ Barrett, Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, and Taj Gibson. All right, out for the Knicks: Mitchell Robinson, concussion; Elfrid Payton, right hamstring; and Reggie Bullock, neck/death in the family. All right, for the Chicago Bulls, the projected starters are Thomas Satoransky, Zach LaVine, Chandler Hutchinson, Lauri Markkanen, and Wendell Carter. Now, Wendell Carter is day-to-day with a thumb. So we'll see if he's going to play tomorrow night. Otto Porter Jr. has been ruled out. He will not play against the Knicks tomorrow night. Okay, if Wendell Carter is out. We'll see who's going to replace him at center, or if maybe Lauri Markkanen moves to center and Thaddeus Young goes to power forward, something like that. So we'll pay attention to that tomorrow, as we get throughout the day, and we'll see if the Bulls announce anything as it pertains to their starting lineup. All right, the Knicks play the Bulls tomorrow night, 8 p.m. at the United Center in Chicago to be on MSG. It'll also be in Chicago to be on NBC SCH on the radio. It's 98.7. And then in Chicago, it's WSCR AM 670. All right, the team comparison, let's break it down. Like I said, the Knicks are 2-8. The Bulls are 3-7. All right, one of those 7 losses came to the Knicks. The Knicks are on a 1-game loser streak. The Bulls are also on a 1-game loser streak. The Knicks are averaging 99.2 points per game. Their opponents average 109.3. So the Knicks give up 109.3 points per game. All right, the Knicks are shooting 41.7% from the field for the season, folks. That is not going to get it, and it's getting worse every single game. 41.7%. They are close. The Knicks are close. The Knicks are a couple of percentage points of shooting in the 30s as far as percentage. Yeah, that's not good, man. That's terrible. If we go out tomorrow and we shoot 38%, then you're looking at the Knicks being a 39, 40% shooting team from the field. That's terrible. All right, the Knicks shoot 35.9% from 3. They average 46.7 rebounds per game, 19.6 assists per game, and 16.5 turnovers per game. The Knicks' offensive rating is 99.3. Guess what? That's last in the league. 99.3 is the Knicks' offensive rating. That's last in the league. All throughout the preseason, off-season and the preseason, what we heard from the Knicks is we're not worried about offense. We're going to be able to score the basketball. We're focused on defense. Because we know we're going to be able to score. The offense will come around. Well, that's not exactly the case. They're 30th in the league. And I know it's a small sample size. It's only been 10 games. There's a lot of time for that to change. It's not going to change if you're shooting 41.7% from the field, though. I don't give a damn who you are. Not going to change. The Knicks' defensive rating is 109.5, so that's 21st in the league. So as much as they've talked about, that we've got to focus on the defense because our offense is going to be there, well, the defense is 21st in the league. Their defensive rating is. So, the Bulls, they average 105.4 points per game. They give up 110 points per game. They're also a bad shooting team at 42.8% from the field. They shoot 31.4% from 3. They average 42.4 rebounds per game. For them to be a bad shooting team, they do not average a lot of rebounds. That's an area where we definitely need to take advantage of. And I'll break it down and show you too. The Bulls also average 23 assists per game and 14.4 turnovers per game. Their offensive rating is 101.9. That's 26th in the league. And their defensive rating is 106.5. That's 15th in the league. These teams are, kind of similar. The Bulls have a little bit better defense. So they have one more win than the Knicks. Check out some key matchups. First key matchup, man. Zach LaVine and RJ Barrett. That's a key matchup for me. All right, Zach LaVine is 6'6", weighs about 200 pounds. He's a guard/forward. He averages 19.5 points per game on the season, 4.4 rebounds per game, 4.1 assists per game, and 1.3 steals per game. He's shooting 42.6% from the field and 35.9% from 3. He didn't play particularly well first matchup. So, I'm sure he'll be looking to rebound. All right, RJ Barrett, he averages 15.5 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, 3.3 assists per game, and 1.3 steals per game. All right, he shoots 40% from the field, 34.3% from 3. RJ Barrett had 19 points in the first outing against the Bulls. All right, his play has slipped over the past 2 or 3 games. So we'll see if RJ Barrett can get himself back on track, at least offensively. We'll see if he can get himself back on track. All right, so this is a good matchup for RJ Barrett. So this is one of my key matchups of the night. I'll be looking to see if R.J. Barrett can respond, if R.J. Barrett can get himself back on track offensively, and maybe help the Knicks shake off all this garbage that's going on. Another key matchup, Lauri Markkanen and Julius Randle. Now, I know that Lauri Markkanen is 7 foot, 240 pounds, and Julius Randle is 6'8", 250 pounds. And you may see Taj Gibson on Lauri Markkanen. You're going to see guys switching around anyway. All right, but for the Bulls, Lauri Markkanen does play a stretch four position. So you're going to see Julius Randle on Lauri Markkanen sometimes. And you're probably going to see Marcus Morris on him as well. You may see Marcus Morris on him even a little bit more. The same way that you've seen Marcus Morris play Kristaps Porzingis. All right, Lauri Markkanen averages 14.9 points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, 2.1 assists, 0.5 blocks per game. He shoots 38.5% from the field, 27.9% from three. Julius Randle, he's 6'8", 250, but, he can play center, of course. All right, he's averaging 15.5 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 3.9 assists, 0.2 blocks. He's shooting 43.4% from the field and 21.2% from three. Julius Randle he's played better as of late. Still making dumb mistakes, though. I will say that. Making crazy mistakes. Still not doing what we need him to do defensively. So if he is matched up on Lauri Markkanen, I'd be a little bit nervous, on his matchups with Lauri Markkanen. But Lauri Markkanen is not shooting well from the field. Okay, so we'll see how that matchup goes. All right, but look, the Bulls, man, the Bulls are going to be looking to respond to losing to the Knicks that first game. Right? They're going to have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Let's hope that the Knicks have a little bit of a chip, too. They should have a little bit of a chip. Talk about the keys to the game. Because right now, with everything that's going on, the Knicks just laid down to the Cleveland Cavaliers. After playing a great game in Dallas, they laid down to the Cavaliers. So now is the time, folks. The Knicks got to show some pride. That's the number one key. Right now, with everything that's going on, let's show some pride. Let's shut some people up. Let's just show some pride. Show some pride in the game. That's my number one key right now. Anything else, if the Knicks can just come out, show that they care about the game, they have pride in the game. And I'm not saying it's been like this all season. Of course, it's been up and down. But right now, we're at a point where I want to see it. I really want to see it displayed. I want to see that pride. I want to see that fight. I want to see that us against the world mentality, right? Because, you know what? Maybe this was Scott Perry and Steve Mills' entire strategy. I'm going to spin it that way. Maybe it was their entire strategy to create an us against the world mentality with this team. So they figure we'll come out, we'll create a media firestorm, we'll have this us against the world mentality, and we'll start playing better. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. But the Knicks got to show some pride tomorrow. We got to win the rebounding battle. And more than just because the Bulls aren't really a great rebounding team. There's more to it than that. All right, we got to win this rebounding battle. Okay, I'm going to come back to this rebounding battle. I just want you to keep that in your mind. The Bulls average 42 rebounds a game. The Knicks average 46.7 or whatever it is. The Knicks should win this rebounding battle. We got to win it. It's important. It's really important. We got to take care of the basketball too. Okay, these two things, I need them to go hand in hand tomorrow night against the Bulls. Okay, win the rebounding battle, take care of the basketball. Do not turn it over. You can't have 21 turnovers. And here's why. Because the Bulls are a good fast break team. They are a really good fast breaking team. So we've got to play good transition defense. great transition defense. We got to be on point. All right. So I'm going to put these three together. I'm going to show you why, these three, they win the rebounding battle, take care of the basketball, and transition defense. It's all got to go together. And here's why. The Bulls are 4th in the league in fast break points. They average 16.7 fast break points per game. So how do you mitigate their fast breaks? You know how? You rebound the ball offensively. Get offensive rebounds. That's one way. Right? If we can get offensive rebounds, we can stop them from breaking on us. Because we already know we're a bad shooting team. Now, if we have a hot night and we're making shots, that's another way that we can stop them from running. All right, but we've got to get offensive rebounds tomorrow night. We need those offensive rebounds, as these guys can run. All right. The Bulls are 2nd in the league in points off turnovers. They average 21.9 points per game off of turnovers. So we've got to take care of the basketball. Because if we turn the ball over, they're scoring on the other end. They're going to take advantage of those opportunities. So those two areas, we can get in trouble if we do not rebound the ball and if we turn the ball over. And if those two things are happening, we're not rebounding, we're turning the ball over, these guys are going to run on us. And we're already not a good defensive team. All right, we're not a good defensive team. Well, we've got to play transition defense. If we let these guys run, we got to play some transition defense. Okay? So those things go together, man. They go together. We got to win the rebounding battle, take care of the ball, and play transition defense because the Bulls can get out and run. They score on fast breaks. They score off of turnovers. So we got to put those things together. We also got to protect the paint. That's going to be tough to do without Mitch there. Right? Because the Bulls are 8th in the league scoring points in the paint. They average 51.2 points per game in the paint. All right? So we've got to protect the paint. We've got to. It's imperative. And the Knicks, on the other hand, the Knicks give up 43.4 points per game in the paint. All right? That's 7th in the league. All right, that's 7th in the league. We got to protect the paint. All right, it is imperative for the Knicks to protect the paint. We don't want the Bulls getting off in the paint. And then, lastly, we got to make shots, man. And when I'm saying shots, we got to make shots from the field. We got to make shots from the free throw line. We're not going to be able to do anything if we're not making shots. And listen, as much as we complain about the Knicks not having energy, and we know, yes, a team, a player should, whether or not you're making shots, you should be able to keep, do other things on the court, rebound the basketball, make defensive plays and all those things. I get it. We should be able to do that. But let's just be real with it. We're all human. And some players operate differently. Some players don't operate that way. And when you are not making shots, it can deflate you. You play good defense, you get stops, but you're not scoring. It can deflate you. Right? You gotta get rewarded somehow. Making shots helps you to get rewarded. Right? So you keep playing hard defense. Things don't just fall apart. Got to make some shots out there, and we got to make some free throws as well. The Knicks, while having the worst offense in the league, and let me get that back to where it's supposed to be. Excuse me, I apologize for that. I didn't mean for the thing to jump out of there. Let me get this back up. There we go. Let me get it over there. And there we go. While the Knicks have the worst offense in the league, they also shoot the worst percentage from the field in the league. I'm sorry, they don't shoot the worst percentage from the field in the league. They shoot 26. They're 26th in the league in field goal percentage. No, they're worse in the league in field goal percentage. They're 26th in pace. It's just telling you how bad the offense is, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks shoot the worst field goal percentage in the league, 41.7%. They have the worst, or the 26th worst pace in the league. We got to do something to get this offense together, ladies and gentlemen. We got to do something. All right, so those are my keys to the game. Again, we got to show some pride, win the rebounding battle, take care of the ball, play transition defense, protect the paint, and make shots. We do these things, folks, maybe we can be successful tomorrow night. The hope is that we can be successful tomorrow night. All right, I'm gonna come back to the chat in a second, but let me get to a couple of phone calls. Okay, caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping? What's going on with you, bro? Yeah, real quick, let me know what's going on. Go ahead. What's up? Yep. I just went through my keys to the game and all that stuff, and I'm gonna do it one more time before I get up out of here. And I only got like 4 or 5 minutes left, so.
Dennis Smith Jr. rebounds. Because if Dennis Smith Jr. doesn't come out there and he's not, he can have a bad game, like semi-bad game tomorrow. But from here on out, Dennis Smith Jr.'s got to go 14-6. He's got to really show and prove. We need the Dennis Smith Jr. from that rookie year in Dallas. Can't have that Markel Fultz-looking Dennis Smith Jr. We've seen from the beginning of the season. I hope everything, and it sucks that he went through what he went through, but now he's had 2 weeks off. I hope he got through it. I hope he's mentally there. He's got to ball out. And tomorrow's test, they give him minutes tomorrow. He can't score 4 points. Got to score. He's got to be that. Him and Frank, I think, are a nice 1-2 punch.
Is he playing tomorrow? I don't even know if he's playing tomorrow.
I think he's playing tomorrow. I think Fizdale said after, they gave him the road trip off, and now that they're home, he's going to play tomorrow. He's supposed to get some minutes.
Okay. All right, we'll see. Listen, they're going to ease him in slow, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Hey, my man, I appreciate the call. All right, I only got a few minutes, so I got to make it quick, all right? All right, appreciate it. Call you on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Blackest time. Shout out to the shot. What's good, son?
What's good, man? Hey, before I get to you, let me make a couple of shout outs. One shout out. Dude, thank you for the shout out. Thank you for the super chat. You said, for everyone yelling Mark Jackson's name for the new coach, look at B-ball breakdown, Golden State Warriors then and now. The league has passed him by. You know what? I'll check it out. That's I'll take the time to check that out. Appreciate that. Go ahead, Tony.
Well, I've been trying to call for a while, so you kind of covered a lot of things that was on my mind. I wanted to ask you, would you feel any different if had they had Fizdale out on the press conference with them?
I would. I think it would have showed more solidarity, and it would have, it would have changed the way people looked at it. I think.
I also thought it would have been interesting if they went right out on the court and addressed the fans directly, because I do believe they were speaking directly to the fans. I think it was like I said, last stream. I think they were hearing all the chatter. I'm sure they heard it at the Garden, but even outside the Garden, a lot of people have been calling for Fizdale. I think it was more in support than not in support of Fizdale, but I also agree that they probably could have handled it better, either bringing him out there, with them, or directly after the game addressing the fans with the, as they're leaving or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's my take on that situation. Another thing, I feel like you can't really say it hasn't had a benefit yet. I mean, we gotta wait and see. They may turn things around, maybe 5-5 the next 10, or better, or whatever, or just play with a better effort for 4 quarters. You know what I mean? So it may have a positive effect in the long run. I think you also mentioned that at some point too. Like, let's say it could turn things around.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's see. Maybe it can, maybe it can kind of light a fire under them, and they feel like we got this us against the world mentality now or something. We'll see. Yeah.
I also tried to call back last night, the last stream, because I wanted to tell Mark, stop this Chris Paul talk. It's ridiculous. I was a firm believer in signing Jimmy Butler and saying he's the type of person who's built for New York. I think he's cut from the same cloth as a Chris Paul, but and he's in his prime. And so, I mean, I would have went for that, for what would have turned out to be less money than talking about $41 million a year on average for the next 3 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's not going to benefit us as much as the money will hurt us.
Yeah. But hey, Tony, I'm getting ready to head out, man. I know this is a little bit of a shorter stream. Yeah, I appreciate you calling in, man.
Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black
No
is
doubt.
time.
All right.
Keep doing your thing.
Appreciate you. Peace. I'm gonna quickly, ladies and gentlemen, run through my little breakdown. I'm gonna run through it again, and then I'm gonna get to the guys in the video chat to find out what they think about tomorrow night's game, and if the Knicks can bring this back in. Right, and then I'll be up out of here. Tonight had to be a short one. I'm saying I'm just getting in off the road. You know what I mean? It was a short one tonight. But anyway, quick breakdown of tomorrow night's game versus the Chicago Bulls. Tomorrow night, the Knicks play the Bulls at 8 p.m. at the United Center, right, in Chicago, Illinois, that is, ladies and gentlemen. All right, it'll be played on local TV, MSG, in Chicago. It's going to be on NBC SCH. On the radio, it's on ESPN 98.7 and WSCR AM 670 in Chicago. The Knicks record is 2-8. The Chicago Bulls is 3-7. Projected starters for the Knicks: point guard Frank Ntilikina, shooting guard RJ Barrett, small forward Marcus Morris, power forward Julius Randle, and at center Taj Gibson. The Knicks have injuries to Mitchell Robinson with a concussion. Elfrid Payton still suffering from a right hamstring, and Reggie Bullock has a neck issue and a death in the family. For the Chicago Bulls, the projected starters are Thomas Satoransky at point guard, Zach LaVine at shooting guard, Chandler Hutchinson at the shooting guard, or the small forward spot, and Lauri Markkanen at power forward. Wendell Carter is at center, although Wendell Carter is day-to-day with a thumb injury. All right, so if Wendell Carter does not start, I'm thinking we might see Lauri Markkanen move to the center spot, while Thaddeus Young plays that power forward position, and Otto Porter Jr. is out tomorrow night's game with a foot issue. All right, team comparison, team breakdown. Both teams are on one-game losing streaks. All right, the Knicks average 99.2 points per game. They give up 109.3 points per game. They shoot 41.7 from the field, which is terrible. They shoot 35.9% from three. They grab 46.7 rebounds per game. They average 19.6 assists and 16.5 turnovers per game. Their offensive rating is 99.3. That's 30th in the league. That's last in the league, ladies and gentlemen. And their defensive rating is 109.5. That's 21st in the league. All right, the Chicago Bulls, they average 105.4 points per game. They give up 110 points per game. They shoot 42.8% from the field and 31.4% from three. They're not a good shooting team either, and they don't rebound that well. They average 42.4 rebounds per game, 23 assists, and 14.4 turnovers. The Chicago Bulls' offensive rating is 101.9. That's 26th in the league. And their defensive rating is 106.5. That's 15th in the league. My key matchups for tomorrow night: Zach LaVine versus R.J. Barrett. I'm hoping that R.J. Barrett can return to form offensively. We'll see. He matches up against Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is 6'6", 200 pounds. He averages 19.5 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and 1.3 steals per game. He's shooting 42.6% from the field and 35.9% from three. R.J. Barrett, last game against the Bulls, he had 19 points. He averages 15.5 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and 1.3 steals per game. He's shooting 40% from the field and 34.3% from three. Last game, R.J. Barrett had his lowest minute output of the season. He only played 24 minutes last game. There's a lot of people complaining and arguing about his, the time that he's playing. 37 minutes, been averaging 37, 38 minutes per game. Some people think it may be affecting his shooting. I think it's the simple fact that he's a rookie. Another key matchup, Lauri Markkanen versus Julius Randle. This could also be Marcus Morris. All right, I'm sure Marcus Morris will see time on Lauri Markkanen. But Lauri Markkanen is 7 foot, 240 pounds, averages 14.9 points per game, 7.4 assists per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, 2.1 assists per game, and 0.5 blocks per game. All right, he shoots 38.5% from the field and 27.9% from three. Julius Randle, he's 6'8", 250 pounds. Averages 15.5 points per game, 10 rebounds a game, 3.9 assists, and 0.2 blocks per game. Julius Randle shooting better recently, right? David Fizdale's, he's handling the ball less. Julius Randle's handling the ball less, playing a little bit more in his spot, in his position, catching the ball on the go, playing downhill. That's where he's best, right? He shoots the ball at 43.4% from the field and 21.2% from three. Now let's look at some keys to the game. The Knicks need to show some pride. With everything that's happening and going on, man, they got to show some pride. Show some pride. Take that us against the world mentality. Us against them mentality. And like I said, maybe that's what Scott Perry and Steve Mills were trying to do. Maybe they wanted to create this shitstorm so the Knicks take this us against the world mentality. This whole media storm, is putting the team under fire. We'll see if they come out and respond. I expect them to. The Knicks got to win the rebounding battle. Like I said, the Bulls average like 42 rebounds per game. The Knicks got to win this rebounding battle because it's important. I'm going to tell you why. They also got to take care of the ball. Can't turn the ball over against this team. And I'm going to tell you why. Transition defense. The Knicks got to play transition defense. It's imperative. Now I'm going to put all three together for you. The Knicks have to win the rebounding battle, especially offensive rebounds, because the Bulls like to get out on a fast break. All right, they're fourth in the league in fast break points at 16.7. If we don't grab some offensive rebounds, we're going to let these guys get out and run. We don't want to do that. We got to take care of the basketball because the Bulls are second in the league in points off turnovers at 21.9. So if we're not rebounding the ball offensively, we're not getting offensive rebounds, and we're turning the ball over, these guys are going to be running, right? They're going to be running up and down the floor on us. So in that case, we got to be able to play transition defense too, because we don't want these guys running. If we're not rebounding the ball, if we're not taking care of it, we got to be able to play transition defense. So those three things, we got to put them together. We got to protect the paint. Without Mitchell Robinson, it's going to be a problem. Right? The Bulls, they're 8th in the league at points in the paint, average of 51.2 points per game in the paint. So we got to be able to protect that paint. We got to figure out some kind of scheme to keep the Bulls out of the paint. Part of the reason why they score so much in the paint It's because they're 4th in the league in fast break points. All right, so if we can limit their fast break points, then maybe we can limit some of that paint scoring as well. Then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we got to make shots. If we make shots, we'll eliminate a lot of this stuff. All right, if we make shots, we don't have to worry about offensive rebounding. We don't have to worry about turnovers because we made the shot. We don't have to worry about transition defense because we made the shot. Got to make shots. Right now, the Knicks are last in the league in field goal percentage. They're 26th in the league in pace. And of course, their offense is rated last in the league. Got to make shots, and that includes free throws, of course, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Now, let me go ahead and get over here to the video chat, find out what these guys are thinking about this game, and then I'm going to head up out of here, man. All right. I appreciate you guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post to my community section. And I will be on tomorrow night after the game. All right. Let me get to these guys. I want to find out what's your prediction for tomorrow. Guillermo, real quick, man. What's your prediction for tomorrow? Guillermo, you there?
Oh yeah, my bad. My bad. I was muted.
Yeah. What's your prediction for tomorrow?
Why do you like doing this, Sim? We've been through this, man. Why do you like torturing us with these predictions, man?
I don't know, man. I want to know what you think. You think we're going to get it or what?
The win? No, I don't. Because right now you got Morris playing for himself. I think Randall, he's still with his play one quarter really well and then go into his overthinking, and then so I gotta see. I can't call it, man, because I gotta see something different from Fizdale that shows me that he can get this offense flowing, ball off ball. We don't run pick and roll anymore. You know what I mean? So look, as bad as the Chicago is, you know, they looked good against us that first game for a few quarters. I know you said Lauri Markkanen is not shooting well. But again, you got a guy in Zach LaVine who's still a wild card who could beat us from the perimeter off the dribble. And until I see a consistent answer for him or a solid answer for him, outside to say Frank and RJ, you know what I mean? And then also RJ too, man, he's been in the funk. And I know he got less minutes last game, but you know, he might be going through that rookie war earlier because of, you know, Fizdale's insistence to depend on this kid, you know, despite the fact that he's a rookie. So and we're playing away though, but I guess we won our only 2 games away. We played 1 game away. When we beat the Chicago first time, that was at home. My bad.
That was at home. That was at home. You trying to figure out every way around giving us an answer.
How if you look at this team, man, you look at the Mavs game and say that team should be whatever. We should be at 500 right now.
I know, but do you think we get the win? Or you
I
think
know. I'm not
lose?
gonna waste your time, man. I'm just gonna say I don't think we're gonna get the win. I don't expect us to get the win.
See, he didn't want to say that. He didn't want to say that. He wanted to be positive.
Because it's like because then tomorrow they
on.
might show up and then we do good. But then they got guys like Wendell Carter, who I think is a solid player. Zach LaVine, and Lauri Markkanen could get hot again because our perimeter defense just sucks after the first quarter. So I don't know, man. Yeah, I think we lose, man.
Okay. All right. Nate.
A win tomorrow.
What do you think, man? Do we win? We lose?
No, we're gonna lose tomorrow. But I think the game's gonna be closer because I think a caller said it. A couple of shows in the past said that the Knicks somehow play better on the road, and I kind of can see why because the pressure's really off when you play on the road. You know, it's like you said, the us versus the world mentality, and I think that the players they strive to play better on the road. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be a close game, but I just think we're going to find a way to lose. But I tell you what, Sim, this game will tell me the outcome of this game will tell me if the team has quit on Fizdale. After all the talk, after all the support, whatever you want to call it, hey, you know, actions speak louder than words. So if we get blown out, I think it's just it's a matter of time before he gets fired. If we come close and we win, you know, maybe this team still has some fight, but my gut tells me we're going to get our butts blown out. I don't know what it is. I
Hmm.
just feel like it's gonna happen because we don't shoot good.
Okay.
know,
Neither do they.
and we
They
were
don't shoot good either, though.
that's true, but we were down 18 points to them at one point too, and that was at home. Try being down 18 points at their house.
That's true.
Whole different
That's
ball
true.
game.
That's true. Isaiah, real quick, man. I don't need a soliloquy either.
Hey, Sim.
You don't know what that word
that was
means,
a
do you?
That was a $2 word, by the way. That you
Do
just
you, do you know what it means?
No, I actually don't. What's that mean?
Don't worry about it. Never mind. Go ahead.
Now you trying to play me.
I let you look it up. I let you look. I ain't trying to play you. You can look it up, man.
I really didn't know the word. I'm not going to be somebody that acts like you
well,
don't
look
know
it
the
up.
word.
Well, look up soliloquy, and then tomorrow you can tell me what soliloquy means.
I'll do that. Bro. I'll do that.
Now, I'm going to be expecting you to come in with a good definition, and not just a definition, but I want you to use it in a sentence.
Oh, all right. Killing the beat. What the hell? All right. Q, I'm not going to lie to you. This might sound stupid. Can you send me how to spell it?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Anyways, Sim. Is it weird for me to say this, Sim, that this might be one of the most important games the Knicks have played in the last 3 years?
I don't know if the last 3 years. Y'all right. Listen, I know how to use 12. You're probably right. I know how to use soliloquy, but I don't know the technical definition. So that's why I didn't answer. I said. But anyway.
Wow, look at you. At you.
But listen, in the last, what you say, in the last 3 years?
I'll say the last 3 years to be nice.
I don't know. It could be based on everything that happened in the last
24 hours.
24 hours. It's a big game.
Sam,
it makes it a big game.
Listen, Sam, I'll be real with you. If the Knicks, they're gonna play hard tomorrow. I believe that this team loves David Fizdale so much that they're gonna play hard tomorrow. But I do want to warn Knicks fans: please don't turn into ESPN tomorrow, because all day they're gonna just rip the Knicks tomorrow. So
yeah,
don't even watch ESPN tomorrow, because Stephen A. Smith's gonna go on his 5-minute rant about how the Knicks are just so disaster. He hasn't been to a game in like 8 years. And then Max Kellerman's gonna talk about James Dolan when this really isn't about James Dolan. It's really not, but it is what it is. But yeah, man, I'm praying for W tomorrow, man, and I want them just to play hard. Julius Randle. Yeah, you pointed out something that really bothered me, Sam, yesterday. It took Julius Randle playing hard when the Knicks were getting blown out by like 30 by the Cavs in the third quarter. That really bothered me. That
bothers me
you're
too.
Supposed to be the leader, and you're the highest paid player, and you're being the one you show up that you care in the third quarter of a blowout. That bothers me. That really bothers me.
I feel you on that one, man. Yeah, but hey, all right. So you're predicting what? That the Knicks? You're predicting
the Knicks are gonna win. It's gonna be sloppy and close. It's gonna be 104-101.
All right.
Knicks.
Hey, I'll take anything. I'll take a disqualification. I don't care. I'll take a win. But hey, I'll catch you tomorrow night, man.
Soliloquy. All right, bet.
Soliloquy, not soliloquy. Soliloquy. Soliloquy.
I'll figure it out tomorrow.
All right, Knicks family. 12:19. I'm about to get out of here, man. I will catch you guys tomorrow night after the game. All right. Do me a favor, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I go live. Drop a video or post in my community section. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow night after the game, about 10:30 or so. I'll be on after the game. No, 10:30. The game starts at 8. So that means I'll probably be coming on directly after the game. I'll make sure I have everything set up, ready to go. All right. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow night. I want you guys to, be peaceful. Have a good Tuesday, and I'll catch you tomorrow, man. Peace.
That's the gist.